planet is enough for everyone's needs, but not everyone's greed. By Mahatma Gandhi. The words of a wise man, one live in an era where the comfort and access to the modern technology. Our planet is slowly dying due to the way we live our daily basis without realizing how much our negative impact we are causing to our Mother Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Livalut, and in my short life, I've seen rapid changes in my surrounding. I've seen buildings rise as if they wish to touch the sky. I've seen highways built and connecting cities, but I've never seen a single tree grow on a forest or a park covered with flowers. Why are we more focused on building skyscrapers and vehicles rather than growing nature? Because nature doesn't grow perfect for many people. And due to that, our planet slowly dies through a system that's been placed, and we all follow it subconsciously as we live our daily lives. Now, every time we drive a car or take bus or order something online from faraway place, we contribute to the desolation of our mother nature, and we do this because we can. We do this because we have to. We do it because we choose to stay blind for the damages we cause, even if it hurt us in the end. In November 2010, China's Environmental Protection Ministry published a report which showed that about a third of 113 cities surveyed failed to meet national air standards last year. And according to the World Bank, 16 of the world's 20 cities with the worst air are in China. That about a fifth of urban Chinese breathe in heavily polluted air every day. But we can't blame ourselves, as the system has been indoctrinated into modern society since the Industrial Revolution, which is the basis of our modern society. We have been taught and told that fossil fuel and coal are the only resource we have for our travels and the only way for our needs and wants to travel to reach us. But there is a new form of energy that has been tested and proven to work: green energy. There are several types of green energy such as wind power, solar power, and hydroelectricity. Imagine this: instead of running on fossil fuel, cars and buses will run on electricity. Oh wait, we have that, but not many of us are choosing it. I wonder why. As for solar power and wind power, the Apple Park is a great example. The Apple Park is the headquarters of Apple Incorporated, and it has solar panels that absorb solar rays and turns it into electricity, generating enough power for the whole 260,000 meters of this building. The Apple Park has been generating its own power since 2017, according to Apple. If more buildings were generating their own power source, there won't be much need for us to depend on power stations and nuclear power plants for electricity. Factories wouldn't need coal and fossil fuel to run manufacturing machines that create waste. This should be practiced more many other global or Forbes 500 companies, as they are the best leaders to make change and create more self-powering office buildings and factories. Of course, many will disagree with the change due to the lack of information and possibly misinformation, especially regarding the cost of changing an entire system of civilization that has been in place since the 18th century. In addition, many people who have investment and stakes in oil and gas companies wouldn't want for this change to happen, as it will affect their investments. So, yes, there will be groups who will voice out their disagreements, but think about this. Governments and world leaders run their respective countries on taxation. If we as Malaysians create enough of a strong voice and demand for a change, eventually things will change. If by a miracle, the system does reboot and focus towards green energy, we can have forest cities and urban parks that teem with forests of all species. Most importantly, we can stop global warming or at least slow it down, which ultimately leads to reducing the chances of climate change. If we don't, well, the world will get hotter due to the greenhouse effect as carbon dioxide increase, The sea levels will rise due to the polar ice cap melting, which will result in the biggest environmental field of all, climate change. Of course, we all do not want to face climate change, and I hope I have opened some eyes here, but talking and realizing the problem is just the first step. As I mentioned before, we need to make a strong enough voice and demand our governments make the necessary steps towards a greener future by allowing tax cuts to companies that create green energy and green solutions. These companies will have more funds to pump into research and development, which allow green energy companies to create physical solutions faster. Aside from that, governments and people of power should create a fund for green energy development, such as buses, taxis, and e-hailing vehicles that run on electricity. But none of this can be done unless we ourselves become the frontrunner of the solution. To conclude, I wish to remind that the way we are using fossil fuel and coal since the Industrial Revolution has been causing a major negative impact on our planet, and we need to move towards the green energy in order to ensure our planet's survival. We must take a stand and ensure our government hit our demand for a more greener solution. If we allow the status quo to continue further, we will not have a future. If we do not learn from the past, we allow our future to be doomed. Therefore, we must think before we change.